welcome back. It is a terrific Tuesday here on Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco, and not only is it a terrific Tuesday, it's throwback to Table Talk days, and Vito Fusella joins me again today for the Table Talk Tuesdays. And before we get into our next guest in this segment, we're going to talk about fitness, health, wellness, and weather. I want to remind you that we are at the downtown studios of Newsmax today here on Broadway. We're in the Question Tequila studios. We're well fortified, plenty of tequila, vodka, and all that other good stuff. We'll get to that later in hour two. But right downtown at the New York Stock Exchange, manufacturing index numbers came out today. They were a little off. It read just under 50. 50 is stabilized growth. They came in at 47.8, so there's a little downtick in manufacturing, which bumped the markets around. We gave up much of the 200 points we gained yesterday, but we're still hovering right around that 27,000 number, which is an important number. I keep benchmarking that number as a place we hang around there with some good news and some good economic indicators. We can really bounce higher from there. And Bitcoin seems to be recovering over the last week or so. I told you a couple of weeks ago I thought there was some manipulative behavior going on at 10,000. Bitcoin got hit all the way down below 8,000 to 79 and change. And today it's up 109 points at $8,400. And I think the manipulators are done with their dirty work, and Bitcoin should be going higher. And higher we go on Liquid Lunch. We bring in today Yessica Kait joins us. Thank you for joining us today on Liquid Lunch. And Yessica is with Limelight Fitness. And we're always trying to make the show better. Like today I brought in Vito, and he outshines me so much, so we got to bring in real experts like Yessica to talk about all the great things. I had to bring in Antipasto to keep the food flowing here, so there's enough distractions from me. But Yessica, we're thinking about adding weather to the show, so we'll give you, our audience, a little update on what's going on across the country. And Yessica thinks that she may be the woman for the job. I think you may be also. But our audience, they're sitting home, they're looking at antipasto on the table, and kind of, I know you're into wellness and fitness and all this other stuff. People go to work every day. It's hard for them to find time to get to the gym and stuff. How important is it, to you to do some kind of workout to keep yourself fit and keep your brain fit?
Hi guys, my name is Yessica. Nice to meet you. I'm trying to become a biologist, and I work at a gym part-time. And I came here to invite everybody to stop by Limelight Fitness.
There you go.
To get a free workout. I'll guide you through the process. One thing I noticed in New York City is that a lot of people are very stressed out. They walk around like sad and on a rush. Like, you have to take some time for yourself to ground and to feel, to breathe, to exercise, to take some yoga, to lift some weights so you can feel better.
So do you think, I know my friend Vito here, I call him every morning, and he's usually at the gym, on the treadmill and everything. V, is that part of your routine every day to get your mind straight?
I try, yeah. I try to, not just from the physical point of view, but from wellness. It clears the head. I just find when you can, you should try to find a half hour, 45 minutes a day, or at least several days a week to try to do it and eat healthy. Nothing wrong with it. And so, yeah, I try to do it.
Is this part of your healthy eating regimen
I
when
think
we
6
go
pounds
here?
of dry sausage a day, and two slabs of pepperoni and a few olives. I think that does it. The mozzarella from time to time works.
Can't go wrong with a little fresh mozzarella from Fred.
No, never.
Let me remind our audience, many of you know when we first started Liquid Lunch, every day we had antipasto. Then we went to the Newsmax headquarters, and there was a lot of transportation, and I couldn't get the antipastos there every day, so we were lacking. But Freddie's back, and he's better than ever. And the antipasto, we got about 2 dozen meatballs over here, which we'll break out a little later on. But
Break 'em out
the
now.
food is back. It's not just a liquid lunch. We're going to wash it down with some food. But Yessica, you're over at Limelight Fitness right here in New York, and a lot of our audience is here in the New York, New Jersey area, but it's a national show. People come down, you're going to give them a free workout.
Yes.
A tour of the gym,
Yes.
and this
We can work out together.
and this gym used to be the famed nightclub Limelight.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, the Limelight was one of the best clubs in New York City in the 1990s. And There's a lot of history. There's actually a movie about it. There's a documentary that came out after.
So I'm assuming that they're not selling drugs in the gym these days.
Just positivity.
And
now.
they're not murdering people.
No.
Because those were two of the key highlights of the documentary that's out.
It was also a church. You got to remember that it was a church. So
It was
you
a
don't.
church too?
When you're inside, you don't know. It's like a really different, unique place to be at.
Is there a rope line to get into the gym?
Yeah, right. You have to wait. They got the they got the velvet rope outside to get in. Or no?
No.
You got to be on Peter Gation's list to get in a work to get in a
You just
workout. But
you just have to stop by. We don't make it so hard anymore.
so my good friend here, he's a driving force in New York behind the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, and we're always talking about health and wellness and healthcare costs and stuff. Vito, what's going on this weekend for the JDRF, and what is all this stuff that you do? What kind of progress are you guys making with that?
Well, it's not just me. There's a lot of other folks who really have dedicated their lives to try to find a cure for type 1 diabetes. There was a lot of issues regarding diabetes, most of whom in the United States are type 2. Type 1 are insulin dependent, which means that if you don't get it, bottom line is if you don't have insulin delivered to you through injection or through a pod, you die. So there's been efforts over the years to try to improve the delivery of insulin, to monitor it, to track it, continuously monitoring and delivering, and the millions of dollars that raise go into research, which is a very positive thing. There's been a lot of improvement. We won't stop until there's a cure. There's an expression, type 1 becomes type none. This Sunday at the College of Staten Island, not too far from our homes, there'll be a walk to raise money for JDRF. Registration's at 8:30. The walk itself starts at 10 o'clock. But that is emblematic of the hundreds of thousands of volunteers across the country who dedicate many of the hours in their lives to find a cure for type 1. So.
Well, if you're around the tri-state area, try to get your butt down there to the College of Staten Island this weekend and chip in and go to the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation.org, go to their website, and if you can make a little donation or advocate on behalf of research, do anything you can because every little bit helps. And
Mary Pat's the one that really
right. Well, yesterday we celebrated Dylan's birthday, so we may as well mention Mary Pat, but Mary Pat probably does all the work, and you just try to take all the credit. But before we go, also, I'm thinking about adding weather and a weather person. And I think Yessica is right up there in the run. I want to thank you for coming down on short notice, giving us some tips on wellness. But if you want to see Yessica doing the weather, I want you to email me at jt@thetokenteam.com. But I think you did great. Thank you very
so much for having me.
You're doing great if you stay right there and watch these commercials so we can pay the bills. And then we're going to come back. We're going to eat some more antipasto. We're going to talk about the news of the day, the markets and politics, right here on Liquid Lunch. Back after this.